Aloha, everybody. This is Dre from the Growth Networking Group. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have a friend here that we're meeting in real time, so I'm going to give her a minute to introduce herself and let everybody know what she does.
Hi, I am Ellis Garcia. I run Marketing Coco. We're an agency that focuses on consulting and strategy and then provides execution for our clients depending on where they are in that phase. Our main goal is really to have people who are already advertising or who are already playing in that marketing field, but have no way of evaluating what's actually working. And they don't necessarily have the systems in place to be able to hire other people on and be able to evaluate their work and actually lead that person to where they're going. So really, really fun work. I love working with business owners that are in that phase. It's my favorite thing to teach them all about marketing and how to actually extract the most out of that, what they're doing.
Nice. That's awesome. So you're almost like jumping in halfway kind of thing,
Yes.
or like at least they've gotten some stuff going and almost sounds to me like data analytics in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, we do.
And then just doing. Okay, so like again, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, of
How long
course.
ago did you start this business?
Yeah, so Marketing Coco was started 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago.
Okay.
I was, working in another agency and sort of just getting a little bit further into my career, and I thought, I want to be able to do things in a different way, and I want to explore a different way of doing. I had a very strong passion for small business and for people who are in this sort of in between stage of I'm not a super small business that I don't spend any money on advertising or marketing, and I come from the corporate world, and although I love corporate, I think corporate is fantastic. And there was this niche market right there, right, where people were in that growth process. And so started doing consulting. A few friends just knew what I did and, guess they thought that I was good at it. So they started hiring me for small consulting jobs here and there. And 5 years ago or 4.5 years ago, I decided to just make it my full-time job.
Nice. That's awesome. So what kind of projects are you like working on now?
Yeah, so we've got quite a few different projects, but one of my favorites is I do work with one of our moving companies here that's local to Hawaii, and our biggest project for them at the beginning was all of the branding, right? Making sure that their trucks, what did they look like on their shirts and all of that good stuff. And then from that, it became data validation. So understanding if I'm getting a phone call from Google, what's happening to that phone call? Is it closing business? Am my salespeople actually answering the way that they're supposed to be answering? What's happening with that sales process? And so now we've gone from the branding aspect and just how people see you from the outside looking in to how do we take all of the information and the data that we have and how do we replicate that to make more sales or to enhance our sales team. And I think that is one of the biggest projects that I'm working on right now outside of new clients that are coming in and that are asking the same questions. How do I know what's working and what's not? And I think that's the biggest thing.
Right.
I will say though, internally, what we're working on is expansion and understanding and getting our contractors to actually come full time. And as a business owner, it's one of the hardest things to do is that, right? And working with so many business owners on the consulting side and now being one of those myself and understanding going through the growth. Yeah, it's definitely given me a lot to think about and a lot more empathy for the business owner who is lost, because I've definitely been there with things that that are not my thing, like the accounting and the bookkeeping and all of that stuff.
So I guess with that being said, what could this platform do to be able to help you? What are you looking for? Or what part of the business do you feel like is your bottleneck, or where you're struggling maybe, that we can, help
Absolutely,
out?
yeah. I'm right now in a process of we have all of our agency set up and we have all of our processes set up. We have contractors that are working with us, and right now we're in that growth process of looking for new clients and opening the door to advertising. I will be very honest. I know I'm a marketer. I know that I preach and I say
Marketing
you have to advertise. And I've never once
Yeah.
advertised my company. This is actually the first time that I've come out and done anything that's related to Marketing Coco in the sense of advertising the company. I do a lot of things that are nonprofit. I'm on the board for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board for a small organization that deals with helping children and all over Oahu, really.
Yeah.
And then a swim club organization. But and I thought those are just good connections to have for the business. But we're getting into that phase now where this is with you, right? This is our first time advertising and just kind of getting out there. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity for people to get to know me and see who we are, right?
Yeah.
For not necessarily just an ad that you see, but get my essence and see if I'm
Exactly.
somebody a good match
Exactly.
for your business, right?
Right. Oh man. Well, that's awesome. And I think you're doing the right things, especially like being part of the Hawaii or Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, from what I hear, I've attended a few of the events, is that you guys are some of like the fastest growing organization. Like I hear you guys are expanding a lot and getting a lot of new members and things like that. So at least, hearing from the grapevine, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's 11% of the market, so Hispanics all across Hawaii, and 11% is not nothing, right? And so I think there's definitely a lot of things that Hawaii misses the mark on in terms of, retranslating into Spanish in certain occasions. Like with the Lahaina fires, there were people who didn't know the language, and that was very difficult for them to communicate with all of the first responders and understanding or listening to the news, right? And so being able to be bridge that gap for people, and then obviously for businesses to be able to feel supported. And there are definitely businesses that cater to the Hispanic market, but there's businesses who are just Hispanic owners that are looking for ways to market to the Hawaiian culture and to the people who are here, that especially as like restaurants or technology businesses and
I've been
things
seeing
like
more
that.
taco shops pop up more.
Yeah, it's difficult, so that's the Hispanic Chamber, I think, helps bridge a lot of those gaps. And I thought it was just really important for me to give back to my community in any way. And I'm Hispanic, so I just thought that is the perfect way for me to give back.
Yeah, that's amazing. Right on. So, going back to your business.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What kind of what sparked it?
I love marketing. I won't lie.
Okay, because me and you the same.
Yeah.
Like obviously we had a conversation about this, especially on the topic of AI and marketing and things like that, right? It being such a hot topic and a discussion, and like it draws in a lot of people's attention, right? Especially if like you're hosting an event. I don't know if you've ever put on an event or a networking event, or at least have gone to one because of AI, right?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, let's dive into that. Like, what kind of things are you seeing in that space? I don't know if there's anything you can share of value to our listeners or viewers.
Yeah, I think AI is a great tool to use for any business or any person who is wanting a little extra help. And I think the more you fine-tune your AI assistant, well, let's call them that, an AI assistant, the more you fine-tune the data that you're providing, and the more you fine-tune what you're actually asking and the prompts that you're giving, the better information it's going to give you. And this is what I tell my clients. Don't be afraid to use AI. AI is great. We use AI. We use it for mainly data summaries. We use it for if I do a lot of research, how do I condense that into something that my clients can read? Sometimes we'll have meetings, and I go back and I record all my meetings with my clients, and I go back and I say, okay, how could I do better? Or what does my client actually need? Or based on this conversation, what are the trends that we're seeing across talking to this one person, right? There's definitely use cases for that. One of the things that I'm, as a marketer and as a person who I love marketing and I love creative and I love creating. Unfortunately, now I think it's an epidemic that everybody's using AI for creative, and it doesn't allow for your regular graphic designers to put in their own flavor or the flavor of the brand. And instead, sometimes I look online and I see that it looks like everybody hired the exact same designer, which they did, ChatGPT, right? And so then everything just looks like it's the same branding, and even though the colors are different, they're still not meeting your brand guidelines, because you can't go to ChatGPT and say use this font or use that, and you can give it the colors and you can give it aesthetic, but it still doesn't give you that brand feel. And I think that is one of the biggest misses, and I think it'll get better as time goes. But for analytics and for capturing data and research and understanding and giving you those summaries and being able to help you communicate that back to your marketing or to your team, to your sales, I think those are extremely important things. Like I'll give you a perfect example. We have a client who's we're analyzing all of their sales calls because we are saying, hey, we're bringing in a lot of people through the funnel, but what's happening at the bottom of the funnel, right? And so what we did is we started using AI to analyze every single phone call, every recording. It's listening to it. It's picking up on little nuances that me and my team, I don't want them to spend hours sitting there listening. We'll listen to like 10 calls, just pick up random 10 of those, and then the rest we give to the AI to help us model that.
Yeah,
and so by us listening to those 10 calls, we kind of know the path. We already know what we should be getting out of that AI and what little things we're noticing. So we feed that in. It's an information loop, and that's what I call it. It's a feedback loop, and that's what AI should be. It's a feedback loop, not necessarily a thing that's making decisions for you. And so, but I do love it, and marketing's my passion. It's a strange thing to be passionate about, I know, but I really do enjoy it.
I think it is a good thing to be passionate about because it's a lot of people's attention, and people's attention is extremely valuable, and a lot of people misuse the attention that they're given.
Of course,
right. Could be nonsense, could be whatever, but again, if you're in the marketing space, we all know that the hook and the 3 second is going to be the thing, and then you can then further elaborate, right? So again, going into marketing and the topic of AI, it's so hard to stay away from, but it's just kind of gearing more and more into that space. For example, when you Google search something, you are now using what is it? Google
the AI,
right?
The AI prompt or the AI answers, whatever.
Exactly.
Which I think is great. I think those are fantastic things. I mean, if you go back, remember, and I don't know if you guys, I'm dating myself a little bit, but Ask Jeeves was a thing. You would go and you ask Jeeves, and it'd answer the question, or it would give you all of these different places where you could go. AI. It was the baby form of AI. And so I think we've naturally been growing into this AI, and now that it's being used, it's more efficient. And now that it's being used across multiple platforms. So now I can get onto a website and have AI, give it a prompt. Hey, AI, I need to create this box, this container that does this, and clicks here.
Yeah.
And AI can do that for you now.
Yeah.
And I think that allows a lot of business owners that don't have the capital to hire a graphic designer, a web developer, a marketer. You need all of those things in order for your business to succeed.
And you can leverage that.
And so leveraging those things, I think is essential for where AI is going.
I heard something the other day that like websites aren't going to be as prominent or a main source of information anymore. It's gearing toward AI because AI is the one that's scraping all that data information, keeping it, and then you're going to ask AI, and then it's going to give you the information instead of you having to go and look for the information. So
for sure,
we're in that phase right now where I could see something like that happening within a few years where, I mean, I don't know, when was the last time you've gone into somebody's website while shopping? Right. I've gone into websites just through browsing, but it's getting to the phase where like if I'm looking or need something, I'm going to, again, like
an AI, absolutely. You're asking. And it's across all industries. We have a client that's a vet's office, and that was one of the things we touched on. People are, when they're searching, they are searching for vet clinic near me or what have you, but they are also going to ChatGPT to do the initial triage. Does my dog need to go to an urgent vet? Do I need to, what can I do? Is there something that I can fix? And then the second part of that is which vet offices are around me that are good and that have good reviews. And so having all of that content available for the AIs to read from your website is extremely important, and it will definitely become more important. And you hit it right on the nail. It is definitely how the world of the internet is moving. Ask your phone, hey Siri, what is
Siri
this?
Connects to ChatGPT, which
exactly,
and then it gives
So I think the biggest challenge for everyone is.
There she goes.
I think that she knows, I think the biggest thing is going to be for people, right, and business owners, is making sure that you have good data. That ChatGPT or that Claude or whatever Perplexity can actually read from your website. And a lot of times it's, the world of SEO used to be slightly different. It used to be all about keywords. Do I have the right keywords embedded into this? And we've modeled that, and we said, okay, well, what's the next step after keywords? Am I answering a question? And so I think that's where the game of content is moving in that direction.
Exactly.
Am I answering the right question, and am I
Are you
asking the right questions?
Are you giving the valuable information that the end user needs, so that way when AI searches the stuff, are they bringing you up?
Exactly.
And a lot of, I mean, here's some value game for you guys that are in the marketing space. YouTube, man. YouTube is where I think it's at, because who owns YouTube?
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
And where's
Alphabet.
Google
Yeah.
getting their information from? YouTube. So what's going on is the YouTube videos are being translated and transcribed into a Word format, and then they're scraping that and then feeding it into their AI system, which is then bringing up in that space.
Isn't it such a it's such a wonderful thing. I love technology. I think that it's great that we're moving in this direction.
Yeah.
And my only hope is that we as a society, and this just goes across, is that we retain the form of art and being able. There's definitely things that I say, do them with ChatGPT, do them with Claude. It doesn't matter. Get an idea from there. But there's something to be said for somebody coming in and creating out of their own essence.
Yeah.
Especially as it relates to art. And I look at it from like logos and things like that, and can you start something with just a ChatGPT logo? Absolutely. My website, and I hate to say this, and we're going through a full rebrand right now, right? And our website initially was created on Canva, because Canva released the websites, and I said, you know what? I don't have a website right now. I'll
just
Canva
do it real quick.
And it was a form of using something that made it easier for the business owner, right? So, but with that, I lost a little bit of essence of who we were.
Well,
and it was
you get to go back and revisit that.
Exactly.
So that's amazing. Now, all right, where can people find you? What's the platform you're using?
Yeah, of course.
And let's
you can just come onto our website, marketingcoco.com, and there's buttons there. You can click on not chat with us, but you can get my phone number, or you can email us